In the last few years, Charleston has really shown itself to be at the forefront of low country cuisine and North American standards. One great reason for this is their access to local fresh seafood, great vegetables grown on the coastal plains, and traditional recipes handed down over the years.
When we produce our rum, we harvest the sugar cane from multiple sources, and then it's fed through here, and this grinder can be pulled by a mule or pushed by kids or pushed by a golf cart, whatever you want to use. And it really grinds the cane up and squeezes all the juice out of it. The juice is collected in a barrel, and we take the barrel over to where we cook it in the pot.
As far as you know, how did you get into making rum? I mean, was it the history that from before? You know, what do you know about the South Carolina connection and rum?
I was interested in rum having grown up in New Orleans and having my first drink on Bourbon Street being a hurricane. And then I marketed rums for larger companies, and I've always loved rum. And there is a history here of rum with the rum runners during Prohibition and British Navy, and it was actually used as cash for trade all over the colonial coast.
Since I am the rum chef, it would be rude of me not to include some food to the mix. Now, each of these has a distinct flavor, distinct taste, distinct personality, and when I taste them, immediately I can see the food or the dishes that it would go with. This gold rum, right, even though it's a little bit young, 4 years, I can't wait for the 7-year-old, but this gold rum would be lovely in, say, a peppercorn sauce. So we do a rum peppercorn sauce over a nice steak. The spice, I would have to play with it a little bit more, but I'm sure the cocktails would just be amazing with it. The vanilla notes are clearly there. The cinnamon is present. So just a little ingenuity, you know, and again, you have to test and play around with it, but the cocktails with this would be fantastic. And I have to say that immediately, just from smelling it and before I even tasted the Java, immediately tiramisu jumped to mind. So a rum tiramisu would just be perfect with this coffee flavored liqueur. And Scott was telling me a few minutes ago that one of their hottest ideas is a pineapple coffee pina colada. Now imagine what that would taste like for breakfast. Hey, stay with me. When we come back, we'll be with my friends Sarah Graham of Southern Seasoned Cooking School and Jimmy Hatt from Guerrilla Cuisine, two of Charleston's brightest and best culinary ambassadors. So the quintessential Charleston dish is, what would you say?
Shrimp and grits.
Shrimp and grits, absolutely.
Does anybody know how it started?
It's been here for as long as I can remember.
You don't know the history behind it? Do you know?
The history, as far as I'm aware, is a Native American dish from the start. The corn that they used, the hominy that they soaked, sole the corn. Obviously, shrimp came from this region. The Kiowa Indians, that had the lakes and the rivers that they would fish and seine net, catch those lovely creatures.
Sarah, what about you? Do you know anything interesting about shrimp and grits?
Oh, shrimp and grits has the combination of all tastes. It's got the wonderful creamy grits, it's got that burst of flavor when you get into your shrimp, and everyone has a different way of the gravy that goes on the shrimp.
I'm just gonna get the pan a little hot. Don't wanna get it too hot. And we start with, a basic range of flavors where you build your flavors. A little pyramid, some garlic and onions. I love that smell. Right there. That's the smell.
And what kind of peppers are those going in?
Just little sweet peppers, mini sweet peppers.
Ah, okay. No heat in those peppers.
No, none. I'm gonna add heat in with either red pepper flakes. I'm gonna use this instead of trying to flip it. That is magic smell right there.
It does. It smells really good.
And before, maybe a little bit of corn, a little bit more corn. And a bay leaf. I know I won't really get, I like to work with fresh bay leaf, but I don't always get it. If you ever use the pepper flakes, red pepper, just a little bit. I mean, I like my heat on the back end, so I use a pepper sauce. And here's the
That smells really good.
curry and salt mixture.
You know, I can smell that corn in there.
You can pick out the corn.
Yeah, I really can. That's why, it's funny how those little things make
A little
such
bit
a
of butter
difference.
and some sausage.
All right.
So here's where the Caribbean influence comes in. Just a little bit. I'm gonna use a little overproof rum and just give us a nice, so instead of deglazing the pan with white wine, I'm just gonna use some rum.
Okay.
Ooh, nice. Beautiful.
There we go. I happen to like a little more than normal.
I know, that's good. You're teasing us now, come on.
Rum-kissed shrimp and grits. Rum-drunken shrimp and grits. Hi, we're here in Charleston. My friend Chef Jay Keys at Angel Oak Restaurant on Savannah Highway. And we'll be looking at how he makes his version of shrimp and grits.
I got it preheated to a light haze, a little bit of oil. Now I'm gonna throw in my bacon. I'm gonna add my onions and confit garlic. We got our shrimp. A lot of people wait to the end to add the herbs, but it's nice to add it while there's still some cooking to be left. You add heat and you get a lot more aroma from the herbs. I'm gonna drain a little bit of oil off the green tomatoes so they're not greasy. We cut our green tomatoes and we put them in our grits. And we go right on the top with all this rendered bacon. There we go, shrimp and grits.
We're here at Henry's house in Charleston, South Carolina. We're about to try Chef Anthony's famous Tasso shrimp and grits.
Our ingredients today is green pepper, red pepper, and yellow pepper. Onions, shrimp, and we're gonna start boiling that right now. We put 1.5 ounces of oil in our pan. First, I put my peppers and onions in. Okay, let that render down a little bit. Now we're going for our shrimp. I use about 4 ounces of Tasso gravy. Now you can see how good that's looking. Okay, now we're gonna dress our shrimp and grits. All that good sauce, we just pour right over the shrimp and grits. And here we have our shrimp and grits, Henry style.